Hey, I think the one thing that we all admire and even further we're fascinated by with the pros we see on TV is how far they can hit the ball, but look so effortless while doing it. So in this video, I want to cover one simple move that the pros almost all do, but most amateurs don't. And what I love about this one move so much is how much it's going to give you, has the potential to have you hitting the ball higher, farther, straighter. And who doesn't like all those things? So if you're looking for more distance, perhaps a cure to your slice, more effortlessness, then by all means, stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve from HitItLonger.com. Like and subscribe for more content like this. All right, so the move I'm going to be talking about today is this, the way that the left arm needs to fold into the ball and into the follow through. You see, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of my students, that will somehow pull the handle down and make their exit look something like this. So their arm looks something like this. Of course, it leads us right into the chicken wing. But essentially what we're doing here is we're trying to make this end of the stick go faster. It's kind of a trap. Might make you feel powerful, but you pull this end of the stick faster, it really keeps the head from responding by coming around and picking up speed and squaring up. So when you can get the left arm, of course, we'd like it to be straight-ish coming into the ball from the outwards pull of the club head and gravity pulling outwards as you come around the circle until about 30 inches past the ball, when it's still the last point in your swing when it's going to be straight. After this, though, is really what separates the pros from the amateurs in a big, big way. Now, at this point, my arm is turning externally this way. So let's look at that motion by itself. Here I am coming into the ball. Here I am exiting. So I have about 180 degree turning over external rotation up at the shoulder, where the forearm is just kind of going along for the ride and matching its motion. So then we're going to get this elbow to fold as it turns over. It will start to fold at the elbow like this. So this move by itself would look like that. Just like that. So it kind of stays tucked in your ribs and starts to fold. And what this will tend to do is cause the handle to actually slow down a bit, quite suddenly, and will really counter lever the head to come through and not only pick up speed, but also tend to square up the face for all you slicers out there. So something like this, do one kind of slow. You'll see the way I'm finishing here. Okay, you see where that elbow finished up, folded and externally rolled this way, rather than a lot of you out there looking like this. Now look where the head is here, and look where the head is here. It's a really big difference in how far the club head has traveled for the same amount of time, which means it must have been going faster the correct way. Now let's look at a simple drill you can do with just an alignment stick that you can get at Home Depot for $2. I'm going to try to position this pole, and you could use a small tree, you could use a post of your overhang, something like that. I'm going to try to put this pretty near center of my chest. You'll notice that my left arm is now kind of pinned back across my chest. Now my enemy is going to be to hit this pole, and some of you have seen this before, but here I'm just going to be doing it just with the left arm only. And watch what happens here. We do not want to pull the handle into the pole. So this is not an exercise using the pivot. This is simply isolating to the arm and wrist, just so you can see the action by itself. And that looks like that. So you can hear the little swoosh sound I'm getting here. That is because I am applying a a very explosive force back here with the thumb on the shaft, pushing and pulling with my pinky side to straighten out the wrist and cause the club, or in this case the stick, to go from a 90 or even more degree angle here to a 90 degree or more angle here. Now see what I have to do? I have to turn this arm over, and you'll see the difference in the thumb. The thumb is here. Now the thumb is 180 degrees diametric. My elbow is still pretty much in front of my midsection. That means while I am applying this force to snap the club around my wrists, the handle is actually getting slowed down, just like that. What you'll want to do is do this exercise very slowly at first, something like this, and just learn the range of motion very slowly. Then you'll start getting freer, and you'll start to hear a little whoosh as you push. It feels a little bit like you're going to do a backhand fishing cast. Push with that thumb and freely let it go around. This is a bullwhip, whipping type of action. You start to quicken it and get it looser, and you start to hear that swoosh come up. So I would advise you do this 5 times with just the left arm and hold it for a 1 count. Then you might try 5 more where you put the right arm over the top at the end for about 2 or 3 seconds, and you can feel now how both arms are going to link up. Just like that. And then step 3, do about 10 more with 2 hands, whipping it around. Just like that. You're snapping, but this end of the stick is not gonna continue by getting pulled into the pole like this, into that chicken wing position, which again continues to make this end of the stick accelerate for too long, not deaccelerate abruptly. The longest, most effortful golfers in the world, the Fred Couples, the Payne Stewarts, the Ernie Els, they make this end of the stick slow down the fastest. That's who's king. It's not who can make this end of the stick go the fastest, it's who can slow it down the most abruptly to get this counter lever working to get the head accelerating around it. You can hear that nice healthy swoosh. You figure the tip of that stick is probably moving 100 miles an hour just with this little wind up and left arm swing. Once you get here, man, the world's going to be your oyster. Let's go back to the ball and let's figure out what's going to happen with your driver. It's absolutely astonishing the benefits that you're going to get with a driver once you can put this motion into your swing, stop pulling it, and start making that arm fold correctly. I've had students, I have a student that I'm working with now, his average typical good drive was about 210 yards. He's a good golfer, but he's held back from getting his handicap lower for the lack of power and distance. Now with this move, he's starting to hit the ball about 245 yards. So a pickup of 35 yards just from this one move alone. Club head speed is approximately the same. It's a couple miles an hour faster because of this move as well. So he's picked up a little bit of speed, but the reason the ball's going so much farther is also because of what he's getting out of this. He's getting a greater upstrike, angle of attack more upward, so that he's launching the ball much higher. It's also causing the club face to square up better than he used to do. And this is lowering the what you'd call the spin loft in this driver. And if you have less spin loft being applied to the ball, you're going to have less spin. Now, why is that? Well, if you were to have the club face square to your target, but hit down on the ball, you're going to have more spin loft than if you are square, but you hit up on the ball. And so less spin loft, it's going to create less spin. What is our friend for hitting long off the tee is going to be high launch, lower rate of spin. Now, this particular student, he was averaging about 3,300 RPMs of spin. Well, you'd say, well, have him hit a lower lofted driver. No. He's already hitting an 8-degree driver, a 7.5-degree driver at 88 miles per hour. How can you get that much spin? It's amazing how much he was spinning it. Now, many of the shots he's hitting are 2,100 down to even 1,800 sometimes on the spin rate. So, higher launch, 14, 15, 16 degrees of launch with about 2,000 RPMs of spin. Totally different world compared to what he was doing before. Let's take a look at this motion. I'm just going to do a soft one just to show you, again, that folding of the elbow and how it's going to cause the club to get countered like this, turn upwards, square up, and give us just a ton of distance efficiency. Here we go. All right, so here we have a ball right at 90 miles per hour. So really similar to the way my student swings, maybe a lot of you at home swings. I was able to hit upwards on this thing 7 degrees, able to get a total of 251 yards out of 90 miles per hour. Now, how many of you at home can say that you can hit a ball that far? How many can you hit at 250? A lot of you are needing 95 or 100 miles an hour to do this. And we have our spin down in the low 2000s with our launch up around 15. So, more angle of attack, square face, more speed, way more ball speed. Just like this. High launch, low spin, bombs right down the middle of the fairway. When you can get rid of this move and replace it with a really true version of that, you are going to be such a better golfer. Golf is going to get so much easy. So do your pull exercise. Start with the stick because you're going to be uncoordinated. I'm making it look easy. I've done this a lot. A lot of people can't do this. Here are the pitfalls. Don't just go up and over. Go out to the ball and over, just like that. And don't associate it with flipping the face, turning the shaft. I am keeping the shaft the same as I whip the club around. So I am keeping the face square to the arc. It might not look that way from this angle, but when you're bowing to the ball, it's different. So out to the ball and over, keep that elbow in front of the ribs and let it fold to 90 degrees as you go into your follow through. It's going to be an awesome year for you coming up. Hey, thanks for watching. Head over to my website, hititlonger.com. You can support the channel by signing up with a membership, buying a product. Heck, support the channel for free just by hitting like, subscribe, sharing this, and leaving a comment down below. I'm Steve. If I don't see you in the next video, I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.